So here we are again with the FV4202, and in this match I've ended up on Overlord, the Normandy map. Playing by myself, I haven't got any platoon mates to carry me through this one. I'm going to have to make the best of what I've got. I've got a pair of special accounts on my team, sheriff accounts, one in a 268, one in a 261. As usual, they are in tanks which are very difficult for pubbies to kill. It's like a subtle means of trolling people, trying to encourage them to suicide out into very powerful tanks in order to try and get like 50 cents worth of gold. Now, departing from my recent replay in the 430, I decided to go back to my roots and head inland towards the hedgerows. This is where I first started exploring medium play on this map, and I think it's still probably a really good position. Sometimes you do need to work the sort of western middle of the map, but this area is really good. The main issue is you have to get here before the enemy mediums do, and you have to have at least some degree of support. In this case, the enemy aren't real good for mediums. They've got mostly heavy tanks and TDs, and so I feel fairly confident in pushing in, which I do right here. Now this gives me a nice big comfy bowl to chill out in, while able to engage enemy tanks all across the map from the relative safety of some nice hull down positions, and you'll have to forgive the weird warping replay issue. I was going for a shot on one of the E5s when a T-34 decloaks right next to me, so I go for the easier target, the one that's actually pointing its gun at me, and try and chase him away. Now, I don't really care if I kill him at this point, I just want him to fuck off, basically. I don't want him where he can engage me. I also don't want him proxy spotting me for RD and TDs. He does start to back off, but then has a change of heart and decides he's going to push me. Because, lo and behold, he's got a friend. The T-54E1 comes up, immediately eats a shell through his lower plate, and then begins to reconsider his life choices. I'm getting some support here from my team. In comes a 261 shell. Thankfully, it's a near miss, although it does still hurt quite a bit. Try to finish off the 54E1, but the Indian gets credited with the kill, so I think I must have nicked the track on the M103 or something. Or sorry, on the T-34. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, once they're dealt with, I can now actually turn my attention back to my original targets, the tanks that are a bit further to the west, along the cliff tops, and around the base of the windmill. IS-3 is the easy target there, the obvious target to pick out. Looks like my teammates are doing pretty well. I am the easternmost tank here, so the east flank is totally open, but we're surrounding the enemy pretty well in the west. We've got a tank advantage in numbers here. Things are going alright. You know, this is a comfortable looking game. I think we're going to do pretty alright here. Using the hedgerows and fallen trees as concealment, I pop up to try and see if I can spot the tanks in the enemy base, and instead spot the lone T-57 blazing a trail up the eastern flank. Now, if I let him all the way up there, he's going to find our 261, he's going to kill it, he's going to get on our cap, and he's going to start causing all sorts of trouble for my teammates. More to the point, though, he actually saw me, and so he's going to probably divert his attention from whatever he was planning to do towards instead killing me, which I obviously do not want. Sure enough, he decides to intrude into my domain, which I'm not having any of, and I begin working both the hills and this rock just to the right of my gun sight here to try and get him out of here. I'm a bit worried about Artie at this point and some of the TDs. I thought I might take a shell from my left, but nope. And I was able to take down the T-57 pretty comfortably there. Next target. Oh look, it's the side of a T-95. Nobody is going to turn down a shot like that if they know what's good for them. And in fact, he hasn't turned at all, and so I'm able to get in a second, and our 261 puts in the final touches to that kill. Waffenträger's pushed out of cover slightly, he pushes further out of cover, Unfortunately, that shot was a whiff. He whiffs as well though, and I'm able to put a damaging shot into him there, although it's only a low roll. By now, the enemy are basically out of tanks, and so I push ahead to see what else I can get, but my teammates are already way ahead of me.
Ready to fire.
And this is how to put a tank with good gun depression, for example the FV4202, to good work on this map. I don't think the FV4202 deserves really any of the shit it catches. Yes, it's weakly armoured for a tier 10 medium. Yes, you know, it's not got really a viable gold round, but it's a good solid tank. It does everything well enough. I quite enjoy it. I'll be sad to see it go, so to speak. It's not really going, it's just being moved down to tier 8 as a premium and having the living shit nerfed out of it to make sure it does actually fit in tier 8. As it is in tier 10, it's overbuffed to even be competitive, and so Wargaming have decided to do away with it, replace it with the Action X or Action 10 Centurion, which I'm looking forward to. So I'm losing one tank I like, but I'm going to gain another one that I think I'll really enjoy. And then of course I'll hopefully still have a premium 4202 to be able to drive around in that. But it is an alright tank. It basically does everything Centurion does slightly better, except for bounce things off its turret, which it really doesn't do at all. Cent still has the much better armor layout for turret. The 4202, however, has the better hull with much better angles, a generally squatter profile, and really a better chance of bouncing stuff coming in from the front. That upper plate is so well angled, I bounce T-30s quite routinely off of it. You know, those are big shells. You don't want to get hit by them, but they will bounce off it. It's pretty good as a pubby trap as well, because pubs will think, ooh, shoot the hull's weak. Boing, off goes the shell. If you are faced by a 4202 up close, the cupola is an obvious target. It's quite large, quite prominent, much unlike the Centurions, which is almost flat. The other thing you might want to shoot for is the turret ring. Obviously not the edges of it, because then you've got angle issues, but the center of the turret ring, if you can hit it in the center, is quite thin. And obviously it's a perpendicular surface as well. It's completely vertical, there's no angle to it. Don't shoot the hull of the 4202. If you are going to shoot it in the hull, shoot its lower plate. Don't shoot the upper, for God's sakes. You will not go through it. It's got decent enough mobility, about the same as Ascent, maybe a little better. It's got a fantastic gun, again same as Ascent, but with better soft stats, better DPM. Really, it's solid. I enjoy it. And in this kind of situation where you find a nice little depression to sit in, peer up over the edge and rain down shells on people before ducking back into cover, it's hard to beat it. Maybe the Fatten is a little better overall, a bit more competitive, but I like my 4202. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, I'll see you on the next one.